Hello and welcome. This should be our last session of the Chronicles of USS Dharma. Last session of this story arc. A lot has happened since we started, and tonight will be a culmination of all that has transpired over the past, I would say, almost 5 sessions. To give a quick recap, um, the USS Dharma and its crew find itself in a precarious position at the moment. They are at the Romulan neutral zone, or at the edge of the Romulan neutral zone. The USS Nightingale, a starship ship, has been found stranded on the wrong side of the neutral zone. The Romulans have attacked, the Nightingale attacked in return. Both ships are disabled. The status of the Romulan ship currently is unknown. On the USS Nightingale, initial assessment was that there were some malfunctions and it had crossed the neutral zone inadvertently. Along with this, there was some unfortunate news where Captain Marcel Depardieu, a close friend of Captain Nobunaga, was found dead. In addition to that, during the attack with the Romulans, the first officer also was injured and is recovering in sickbay. Currently, at the lead of the USS Nightingale is Lieutenant Diaz, the security officer. Once the Dharma got close to the neutral zone, Ensign Law did some couple of maneuvers to get as close without crossing it. Romulans continue to threaten open war in the event that the USS Dharma crosses over. They state that the USS Nightingale crossed on purpose, and they plan to take everybody on board as war criminals, and they take the Nightingale itself as a war criminal. They consider the ship itself as a war criminal also. Through discussions and deliberations, the crew came up with an idea where a runabout would shuttle back and forth between the USS Nightingale and the Dharma, which is on the other side of the neutral zone. The runabout itself would not cross the neutral zone in case things went out of hand. That gave you the plausible deniability that no part of the USS Nightingale ever returned or ever left the neutral zone again. What this in turn did was people from the USS Dharma were able to beam on board the Nightingale and get themselves on, beam on board the runabout, and then the runabout would get them close enough to beam themselves on board the USS Nightingale. Once the crew were on the USS Nightingale, they continued the investigation of what really happened. How did the ship get on the other side of the neutral zone? In parallel, Captain Nobunaga ordered that all able-bodied personnel should do the reverse of what was just done, beam themselves on board the runabout, and the runabout would get close enough to the USS Dharma, and then beam themselves from the runabout to the Dharma. This was observed by the Romulans, and the Romulans have been continuously pinging both ships upon Captain Nobunaga's orders. All hails have been unanswered and ignored as you guys are proceeding to find out what really is going on. Once you guys get on board, the scene is not chaotic, but it's controlled chaos. Lieutenant Diaz is clearly out of her element, but she's doing the best she can to hold everything up. Um, Captain Nobunaga orders Ensign Law and Boss Hogg, Lieutenant Hogg, down to engineering to bring the ship back online. He himself, along with Renan Chan, head over to the science department where Captain Depardieu's body was found. Lieutenant Hogg, with the help of some of the engineering that still lived in, was still alive in engineering, found out that the dilithium crystal matrix, the dilithium crystal itself, are all right. No damage has been received. The matter antimatter containment unit is also fine. No damage there. However, the entire power control system has been knocked out. He proceeds to achieve some engineering feats and marvels as he builds a secondary unit that would do the job for now. When the last session ended, that was where his scene stopped, when he had just finished building that secondary unit. As far as Captain Nobunaga and Lieutenant Sean go, they started investigating what really happened with Captain Depardieu. They go to the science department. They find the room where Depardieu was killed. A couple of salient features were noticed. The room was only entered by Depardieu, as per the logs. Depardieu's back was turned when the assailant attacked, because that's where the wound was observed. The wound itself, later on, in the medical bay, was determined to be a knife wound, but not really, because unlike a knife wound, there were no tears seen along the edges of the wound. The wound was also not cauterized, so it was a smooth, clean incision. A weapon like that has so far unknown to anybody in Starfleet. Ensign Lyra, who's also on the expedition, along with the captain and Renan Chan, they find that the captain of the USS Nightingale, Captain Depardieu, before his death, had actually encrypted all highly classified information on the ship's computer. Once the encryption is in place, only the captain can decrypt it. Nothing else can decrypt it, and it is secure. It is held secure. It is not clear as to what Captain Depardieu's motivations were when he did that. But as far as Captain Nobunaga knows, an act like that could only mean some sort of treason or betrayal within the ranks. To make matters worse, it has also come to the crew's attention when they got to the scene that Admiral Talara, who is their commanding officer for this battle group out of Starfleet, is also on the USS Nightingale. Her whereabouts are completely unknown at this point. Once the investigation in the science department is complete, Ensign Lyra is ordered to stay back and get additional logs and analyze what else could have gone wrong. Lieutenant Chan and Captain Nobunaga then make their way to Medbay, and in Medbay they meet Dr. Chase, Captain Nobunaga also, for the first time after hearing the death of Captain Depardieu, actually has a chance, an opportunity to see his friend, or at least the friend's dead body. During that interaction, the captain himself was very silent, where Lieutenant John kind of took the reins of the investigation and proceeded to question Dr. Chase. Dr. Chase reported that it is unclear what the wound was, but the wound is extraordinary when you look at it. Um, he also informs Lieutenant Sean some disturbing news. The foremost being that all these safety protocols, with respect to detection of changelings, were turned off upon the order of Admiral Talara. Blood screenings were stopped. The low intensity spread use of phasers that was installed on every deck, every room of the USS Nightingale were turned off. Upon hearing that, Captain Nobunaga immediately orders Lieutenant Ensign Lyra to enable the systems and bring them back online. Many a section of the ship are damaged. Some are venting atmosphere slowly into the air, into space. Some sections are completely vacuum. But the system anyway goes online, and within a few minutes, Ensign Lyra reports that a few hits were seen along the corridor that leads to the hangar bay. The hangar bay would contain shuttles, runabouts, etc., that are part of the USS Nightingale standard equipment loadout. And upon hearing that, Lieutenant Sean and Captain Nobunaga immediately head out towards the corridors leading to the hangar. That is where we left off last session, and we're going to continue from there. Are there any questions before we begin?
Not for me.
None. So, nope. Excellent. We shall proceed. Just trying to get all my songs and... Oh, God. Sorry. So, Captain Nobunaga, you and Lieutenant Sean are now in the corridors, heading towards the hangar and shuttle bays of the USS Nightingale. Is there anything you guys wish to discuss as you make your way through the corridors?
I think it goes without saying that the phaser rifle is out and shouldered.
Yeah, Nobunaga has his pistol in his hand, not drawing his blade yet. As he runs, he taps on his comm badge with his opposite hand and hails the Lieutenant Diaz.
Yes, Captain.
Lieutenant Diaz, we're heading to the hangar bay. I've turned on the low phaser emitters, and we have a hit. It looks like we have a changeling on board, as expected.
That's grave news indeed, Captain. Myself, I have something to report. There
Report.
has been a change in the Romulans' demeanor. It is unclear at the moment, but we believe, based on the readings we are seeing here, they are getting closer to fixing their ship. Their hails are continuous. They have not stopped it.
Don't answer them. Lieutenant Hogg will have his fix in place soon, no doubt. I want you to do a sensor sweep of the hangar area, see if you see any movement while we're on our way.
Indeed, Captain. So, as you guys are running through the corridors, you kind of turn around this corner, and you actually see uh, a Starfleet, what looks like a lieutenant, um, on the ground. There is blood, coagulated blood, kind of exiting him, and he's kind of prone on the floor.
Goodness. Then going towards me initially to help, but then remembering, oh no, we've got someone who can pretend to be other people, so I'm going to scan him first.
Okay, go ahead. That would be, believe, a security plus insight.
That's difficulty 1.
That's difficulty 1. Nice. So you have 2 now in the momentum pool. Your scans prove that this is a human indeed, and the vital signs are dangerously low. As you get closer, you kind of see that there is blood that's flowing out of the body, and it seems a little coagulated.
And Nabernaga looks down. He's been down here for a while.
Indeed. We should call for some medical personnel. One of us might have to move him back if possible.
We don't have time.
He kind of, no, there's not enough time.
Who was it, Lieutenant? Who did this to you?
I was patrolling this corridor, Captain. For a moment, I thought there was nothing. Next thing I know, something came through the walls, and all I saw was a humanoid hand just entering my torso. And when he says that, you kind of look at his torso, and Captain, give me an insight plus security.
Do I have a focus?
No, not for this one.
Okay.
Awesome. So, while you were in medbay and Lieutenant Chan was leading the questioning, you were taking some time to reflect upon what was in front of you. During the time, you observed the wound closely that was on your friend Captain Depardieu, and you now see the same wound on the torso of this man here.
Mm-hmm. He looks down at him and he's like, "Hold on, Lieutenant, we'll get you help." And he looks to Chan.
Captain, do not bother. It's not. I've lost too much blood. You need to get to the hangar. Keep an eye out. It's a changeling.
Nonsense,
Captain.
man. There's still a chance to save you.
Lieutenant, this happened 15 minutes ago. Do you think whatever attacked me would be around? Think, man. Run. Do not stop for any.
Namanaba looks to Chan and then down to the lieutenant, frowns and just nods to Chan and kind of like runs forward and jumps over the body and keeps going.
Damn it. Tap my comm badge and report this lieutenant's position to get his body if someone is able to.
Okay. Lieutenant Diaz picks up the communication and says, "Lieutenant Chan, we'll try and send someone there." And she's kind of clipped. Clearly, you get the sense that you don't have to roll, but clearly you get the sense that she knew this person because both of them on the security detail.
Yeah. Bastard.
Okay, so you guys are running towards the hangar bay, changing the scene back to engineering. Boss, with the help of Ensign Johansson, the first stage is now complete. The second stage involves replacing the current burnt out unit and installing the new one. Before I give you like the mechanics, is there anything you would like to add from an RP perspective or any discussions?
Looks like we've managed to build a stable enough composite secondary relay. So now we need to figure out what to do next. He'll start tapping around and running scanners, and he'll get even more frustrated and agitated a little bit. He's like, blasted. Navigational photon infuser is overheated, and the ship's Heisenberg subspace impellers are not responding. You there, Johansson? We'll have to try to reroute the bispatial neurotransmitter and fabricate a temporary composite with ionic drive capabilities. Lend me a hand.
Yes, Lieutenant. Right away. So, you have identified what needs to be replaced and how it needs to be replaced. Mechanics-wise, it would be a work track of 12. The magnitude would be 2. Work track 12. Magnitude 2. There will be a resistance of 1. So magnitude 2 means that the number of breakthroughs that you need to achieve for the task to complete. Work track is basically the length, so you have to hit 12 work points. Resistance is basically if upon completion of a successful task, you roll your work dice. Resistance will remove a value of 1 from the total roll. RP wise, this resistance is represented by the fact that you're removing a broken down panel. While it is powered down, there is still some residual power flowing through the various circuits. You have to be careful that you don't either short circuit or electrocute yourself while doing this procedure.
Okay. I'm trying to remember the magnitude is how many.
And the difficulty of this task will be 2. You can roll engineering plus control.
That's I like to do control if possible. Gotta be careful.
Feel free to use some momentum too.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have 2 momentum at the moment.
I have electroplasma power system, so I'm assuming I have a appropriate
Indeed you do.
focus.
Yes, you do.
If you would try to I know that what the work track is, what the number of dice on the challenge dice or whatever that need to come up.
Yes. So what we're going to do is, since this is engineering and you have a discipline of 4 in engineering, it will be 4 plus a base of 2. So you'll be rolling 6 challenge dice.
Okay, that's what the magnitude is. Okay, and I'm trying to get 12 points total.
You're trying to get 2 things. You're trying to get a total of 12 points. But how you get breakthrough is either you roll. It's kind of like when you're doing the attack. If you roll 5 or more, right? When you roll 6 challenge dice, say you roll like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and it's a total of 5.
Yeah.
Then you remove 5 from the work track and you get a breakthrough. So you will need 2 such breakthroughs. In addition, you get a breakthrough when you complete the work track as well.
Okay.
But remember, if you roll 5 because of resistance 1, you'll actually end up having 4.
Mm. It's kind of like a wound in Conan.
Okay.
It's very similar to that, yes.
All right. I will spend a momentum initial attempt.
Okay.
Task difficulty 2, you said?
Task difficulty 2. Nice. Now you can click on your token, and when it says challenge dice, put the number 6 and roll.
Okay, and there's 1 reduced from the total that's rolled.
Yeah, that's fine. We can reduce it after the total number.
Don't have anything that can re-roll those. Can I spend a momentum to re-roll any number challenge dice?
Momentum generated on the tasks that comprise an extended task can be used in all of the. There are a few momentum spends that apply specifically. Yes, you can spend 1 momentum, which I think you used 1 to get an additional dice, correct?
Yeah.
That means you have 1 more momentum to. You can do something called piercing that would ignore up to 2 resistance for this task. Or you can spend 1 to get 1 additional. You finish like +1 to the work done. I would say either way, if you spend a momentum, the work track will be now reduced to 8. Or sorry, 1 minute. You can spend 1 momentum to re-roll any number of challenge die tasks. Sorry, I missed that. So you can spend 1 to re-roll 3 of those die.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Pray for the best.
Nice. All right. So let me look at something.
Because you need an effect to get a breakthrough? Is that what it is?
Sometimes there are benefits involved. Perfect. Okay, so let's do this. You have the ideal tools with you because you are in engineering. You have built the technology required. So you can do this. You have rolled 8 minus 1 for the resistance, so 7. So that's 1 breakthrough. You can do something called triumphant, where if you achieve a breakthrough and 1 or more effects are rolled, an additional breakthrough is achieved. So how does this look where you kind of spend that momentum, you roll really well, you achieve a breakthrough and something happens and you get the second breakthrough required?
As he starts to do stuff, he realizes there's still residual power in the system. He's like, quickly attach your anti-stack clamps. So it appears they still have some circuits that are operational with a delayed charge. He starts fiddling about, and he's like going, blast this photon infuser. So they're going, he says, it's going to be melted. It's going to need to cool it down somehow. Hand me that spatulator. Start spraying it down. It's like going, yes. Optimal temperatures are reached. So, but this Heisenberg subspace impeller, still not responding. Wait a minute, this isn't done. What type of starship class is this?
I believe this is a Nova class starship.
Nova? Well, blast, that's right. We're on a Nova, not the Dharma. Nova class, of course. So we were invert the previous settings that I gave you, Johansson. Now enter them in at a 0.3 interval on my mark. I have a mark, and he's like, yes. Seems to be going. Yes. The photon infuser is responding. It's maintaining proper temperature. Now for the test. The subspace impeller, it's powering up. Yes. And he looks real happy for once. You never really seen Boss Hog really super happy. He's like going, yes. Says we seem to be having some sort of power. Says I don't know what you did, Johansson, but if we get out of here alive, he says the drinks are on me.
Lieutenant Hogg, I think I'm seeing miracles happen in front of me. Whatever you're doing, don't stop. I'm just learning so much. And he kind of starts, he's following every order. He's kind of zoned into exactly what you require and executing as you require it. By the end of it, you have replaced the broken down panel with the new one. You now have a couple of options in front of you. Before I switch scenes, I'll give you those options so you can think about them. But in reality, everything's happening in parallel. Now that the new panel is in place, you can choose to enable impulse engines. Impulse engines will be a work of 12, magnitude of 2, no resistance, difficulty of 1. You can enable warp engines, however, no test. What this means is it'll be a work track of 14, magnitude of 3, resistance of 2. Or you can enable warp engines with test with a work track of 16, magnitude of 3, and resistance of 1. The difference between no test and with test is basically you are going to power it up straight up. General power up sequences will involve running through stages, and at the completion of each stage, you will run a self-diagnostic to ensure that the stage has completed correctly. But if you power it up with no test, you basically complete stage after stage after stage without ever checking if a specific stage has completed its task or not. This is something for you to think about. And as you can see, they have different task difficulties. And the task difficulty for both warp engine, no test, with test will be 3. 2. Sounds good? Sorry, what? You're breaking up.
In theory, what supposed to go
I'm breaking up still.
Sorry. You're breaking up still. Sorry, dude.
I'm reading in the green.
Good
okay,
now.
yeah, now I can hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's because I opened up that damn Star Wars PDF or Star Trek PDF. Yeah, all we really need is Impulse to get on the other side of the border, don't we?
Yes, but Impulse will be slower. and again, impulse is not as capable as warp, and yeah, each has its own uh, pluses and minuses. Something for you to think about.
Okay, go ahead. Y'all try to build up momentum and save it, because I can use it if I too.
We'll try.
Cool. Yep. Awesome. So at this point, you guys get to the entrance of the shuttle bay. You're able to, as you get into the shuttle bay, change the music. Yep. You see that there is actually a second runabout in the shuttle bay. It is both of you, any of you, all of you. Give me a insight plus con.
Difficulty 1.
Task difficulty 1. Rinan, you actually have... No, none of you have focus on this.
There's one momentum.
Nice. Both of you see that the runabout is actually in its power-up sequence. What do you do?
Oh yeah, immediately tap comm badge, and do they still have, as far as for like the shuttle, the doors, right, the bay doors for this thing to leave. Are we aware of if they still have control over that on the bridge?
Yes, the bridge would generally have control over pretty much anything on the ship. But you would also know, being the security officer, that while the bridge has control over those doors, this is a standard runabout with standard weapons.
Is this the same hangar that our other runabout is coming in and out of?
I would say yes and no. The hangar is kind of big. That runabout is in a slightly different part of the section.
That's fine.
This place is more secluded.
Okay. No, but no, go. Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think I would tap the comm badge. This is Tron to the bridge. Do not allow any runabouts to leave the ship at this time.
Lieutenant Sean, what runabouts? We have one outside, one's on the pad. The hangar doors are under lockdown. Nothing should be able to leave.
Perfect. Maintain the state of affairs, and I'm sort of spreading out from this runabout here.
Okay, so you guys came in from the top, so that's what this railing represents. The runabout is a couple of levels down. This is where something you might want to decide. It's going to take you some time to get down there, in which time, knowing how runabouts work, the power-up sequence will be complete.
So, Zephyr, before we go on, Nobunaga taps on his badge to talk to Diaz and says, Lieutenant Diaz, can you scan
Yes,
this
Captain.
runabout on pad 4? See if there's any life signs inside?
One moment, Captain. And there's a brief moment. Yes, Captain. There is some life signs. Yes, it reads strange. It's not human. I don't know what's happening, Captain.
Nobunaga says, can you lock onto it with a tractor beam, or I'm sorry, a transporter?
Not at the moment, Captain. All power is being used in engineering for power-up sequence.
Kind of frowns. Very well.
Captain, one more thing. It looks like the Romulan ship is definitely getting close to finishing repairs. We are starting to see tertiary and secondary power systems coming back online on their ship.
Very well, Lieutenant. If they fire, return fire, but do not do before. And take evasive maneuvers if possible. Once the power comes online.
And for a moment, she kind of loses her cool. What? Sorry, Captain. Yes, as you say, and then the line cuts. You realize that without power currently, you guys are sitting ducks. There is no evasive maneuvers whatsoever. So on one hand, if the Romulan bird finishes its power up sequence, you guys are toast. So there isn't really much she can do unless Boss Hog comes up in time and powers up the ship.
He will. That's what I'm hoping.
Oh man. So on these runabouts, are we able to see the propulsion systems from where we're at?
Yep. You let me just ping it. You see this little thing?
Yeah.
What looks like the nacelle? You know that that definitely is connected to the propulsion system.
Because this thing can't leave, pretty much.
Can we? Well, it can't get out currently, right? The doors are shut.
That doesn't mean that they can't find a way.
Yeah, could the rifle hurt that thing? Damage it?
Maybe? I don't know that Renan would know that. I don't know that he's ever tested a phaser rifle against a runabout. Their weapons can hurt us.
Definitely.
The runabout does have weapons, correct?
It does.
Yeah. Do we know what standard loadout is for runabout?
The standard loadout would be, I believe, a phaser array, but not something as powerful as a full-on ship. I believe it's like a Type 6 or Type 5 phaser array, and micro torpedoes. But you would know that the micro torpedoes, it's too close for it to fire micro torpedoes at this distance. The phaser arrays, actually for that, Renan, give me security plus insight. Captain Nobunaga, give me insight or reason, whichever one you like to use, plus engineering.
Insight or
Test difficulty 1.
Task difficulty 1 for both of you. In the case of Renan, you have, I would say, you have focus. Ooh. Okay. So you get 3 momentum. Nice. Momentum goes up to 4. Renan, you know that the phasers on the runabout are, while powerful and can definitely incinerate both of you, it is going to be a challenge to detect you. They can fire a spread, but there is pluses and minuses. Firing a spread could damage vital systems in this place, and if they're not finished their power on sequence, could affect the runabout in turn. So it becomes a like who dares win at this point. You know that based on your training.
All right, Captain. Here's what I propose. We have to advance on that runabout quickly, while maintaining good awareness, because it may be a trick. Changeling could be anything in this room. Now, I think if I'm able to get his attention, and you move forward, I may be able to distract them.
Nobunaga considers that and says, perhaps we should just try to sneak down there so they don't see us and take it from the rear.
We can attempt that. That power-up sequence is likely going to finish before we make it there. And that phaser on that runabout, it will tear us, it will incinerate us completely, Captain. We must not be hit by it.
And then that's why I don't want you to run out in front of it to draw its attention.
It will be difficult to hit us in here. It's a weapon meant for space combat, not inside of a hangar. But I will follow your lead, Captain.
You are the security officer? That's what you're here for. How do you wish to proceed?
Let us try to sneak upon them first. And then if they happen to catch us, go for the original plan as plan B.
He nods. Very well.
Okay. So you guys are going to try and sneak down from this, like a ledge parapet walkway down to the pad below, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And you guys are going to try and do this double time, I'm assuming, so get there as quickly as possible before the power-up sequence is complete. Okay. So I want both of you to give me a fitness plus con, kind of like navigating staircases. Do you guys think it's fair?
Sure.
Seems good.
I'm gonna use momentum, I believe.
Okay.
Me too.
What's the difficulty?
2. If you want to get there before the power-up sequence is complete.
Oh yeah, definitely. Probably don't have a focus personally.
No, not for this.
Don't either.
Nice.
Oh no!
Okay, so this is how it happens.
Dang.
Captain, you take off. Rinnan, you never seen your captain move as fast as this. And you've done cross-country training on the holodeck. You also get the sense, through your empath, that there's something driving the captain. There is this fire within him that you have not seen before. He's enraged, and all his focus is on that runabout, and he's gone. At that point, Captain, you come racing down the stairs through the corridors leading within this hangar, and you actually get here first on the pad.
Okay.
Brendan, I will just keep you here, but you are still coming down the staircase on the pad. You're maybe like, I would say, one action turn away from getting there.
My rifle's heavy.
Yeah. Captain, you see as you're getting there, the ship is in the final moments of power up. What do you do?
So, would I know? So the question is, would I know if I got to the runabout? Would I be able to open the door from the outside?
Normal circumstances, yes, unless the person or being within has engaged some sort of security lockout, not allowing the door to open. Captain, given what you've achieved so far, give me an insight plus engineering. That's difficulty 1.
Engineering is not my strong suit.
Neither was fitness, but yeah, it did me.
Nice. Captain, you've been through Starfleet Academy. While you may not be boss hog level engineer, you have rudimentary understanding of how ships work and ship systems work. You know that if you load your phaser for a powerful shot, and if you're lucky, you may be able to make some damage slowing down the power up sequence or in some way hindering the runabout from taking off. But it has to be precise and powerful enough.
Yeah. So Nobunaga is gonna kind of like run over here
Okay,
behind
you can
this,
look in.
and then he puts his back to the beam and looks at Sean and like points his phaser kind of towards the runabout, and he's gonna take aim and try to shoot the nacelle, charging his pistol up as high as it'll go.
Okay, so you're using a mini action to charge it. So go ahead, make that attack.
Just
Ridden-
roll the attack from the sheet. Or...
Yeah, no. You can click on your token and
Oh.
it says attack phaser.
Okay, attack phase.
I'm
I'm gonna use the momentum, by the way.
Go for it. Nice.
I don't have a focus for this kind of combat.
Both of you used the momentum to roll extra die, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I missed that. Sorry.
And I just used another one.
And you just use another one. Okay,
Mhm.
good. You make the attack. Roll damage. Nice. Hold on. Weapons and gear. Phases type 1. Because you did a charge. Come on.
You can either add area, intense, piercing, vicious. Piercing
Yeah,
2 might be nice.
so you can do area or intense.
Intense sounds right.
Then inflict massive harm on a target. Perfect. So you have rolled 6, and you're targeting the nacelle. When you do that, Captain, you actually you let out a pretty powerful beam from your phaser. You actually kind of feel your phaser heat up in response to that shot. It's a direct hit. The nacelle is hit. There is some damage, but it is unclear to you how much that damage, whether it's going to be enough or not.
Mhm.
At that time, Renan, you have just come down the stairs. I would say you are somewhere over here, like through the doorway. You just see your captain shoot his phaser onto the nacelle of that runabout. What do you do?
Well, clearly the captain has an idea. And I'm here to follow the captain. If he's shooting the nacelle, I'm gonna follow up. Aim, shoot,
Okay,
and
with your rifle.
yeah, I don't know how much momentum do we have in the pool right now.
You have 1 in the pool.
I'm saving it for boss.
Okay.
More important. So I am gonna aim and shoot.
Okay.
20. I'm thinking that I have oh, this is hand phaser, so I'm thinking I do have a focus for this.
No, you have focus for this. Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh. So
Pretty good. Oh, aim before attack. Any number of d20s may be re-rolled.
go for it.
Okay, let's actually hit this time, Sean. You got one job this time, buddy. Oh my god.
Oh no! Oh my god!
Feels good, man.
Oh.
Carry over from Tor.
This is what's going to happen. This is what I needed, but now I have the reason. As you shoot Renan, you see that you kind of come down the stairs and you're winded for some reason. You do this every day, but for some reason you're winded today, and the shot goes wide. But not only does it go wide, it actually it hits back here, and for a moment you hear a small You may be venting. At that point, Captain, you hear Lyra. Captain, are you there, Captain?
I'm here, hurry.
Sir, there are some strange communications going out of our ship, the USS Nightingale.
What kind of communications?
Chatter, sir. Chatter like I've not seen before. It's encrypted. Encryption I have not seen before, Captain. Something strange going on.
Can you jam it?
I'm gonna try, Captain.
Do it.
All right. Oh boy, I'm getting a chub right now. So, Captain, I've moved you to the science station.
Yeah.
You have access over Lyra.
Yeah.
Give me a control plus science. And I would say your focus of no focus for this.
Okay.
Task difficulty though is 2, because she's trying to jam something she is never seen before. How does she respond?
Yeah, she's attempting to jam it, but the encryption is too varied for her to get a lock on when what the signal is that she needs to jam. There's a lot of interference, and she just can't seem to actually get a handle on what she's trying to do exactly in time.
Yep, and she's like, Captain, I'm unable to jam it. The communications are getting a lot more. One thing I know, the communications are short range. And at that point, you hear from Lieutenant Diaz, Captain, there's something strange happening on our sensors, sir. Something's approaching.
From where?
Unclear, Captain. And next thing you know, you hear a comm badge take off on your... And when you open it, Captain, this is Commander Singh. I'm seeing strange things appearing on our sensors, sir.
Full red alert, obviously, Commander. Prepare to bring the Dharma into the neutral zone if you need to. Prepare yourself. Defend yourself at all times. Defend this ship at all times.
As you say, Captain. And at that point, we move the action back to engineering. Engineering, have you made a decision of what you're going to do? So while this is kind of happening parallel, you're completely unaware what's going on in the hangar and on the bridge.
Oh, man. Falls, no test.
Please, at least you succeed. This has been a fucking cacophony of failure the last 3 or 4 rolls.
Good question. Less work, but higher resistance. Oh man, we got what? 1 momentum?
Yeah.
Yep.
I was hoping we'd be able to generate some.
We did, we just used all of it.
Well, I was hoping we would generate some on our rolls.
I think I'm gonna go warp capability, no test.
I like it. Nice.
Yeah, it would be nice to get the hell out of here.
All right. How does it look, boss? And role play it, and then start rolling, and I will let you know how things go.
I'm assuming that Boss Hog is hearing the communications of this situation going on and hearing exchange of phaser fire and the captain. I don't know if Singh's communication would be relayed to everyone, but I don't know that. Does Singh or does the captain relay the seriousness of the situation? I'm assuming he might do a progress report or something like that.
Yeah, he can. So Nobunaga kind of just like getting all these reports, hits his comm badge as he's watching this ship really quickly, and he's like, "Lieutenant Hogg, please hurry up. I think there's incoming vessels."
No, he'll retort back with, "Understood." And you've probably heard the most panic in his voice. No hint of agitation or nothing. Just, of course, his face to Johansson and Ensign Law is the opposite. He's extremely agitated, but he doesn't seem to be agitated at what's going on, more like himself. And he'll start going, "Looks like the heat's on." Starts messing around. He's like, and they're going, "All right, we have two of these situational ingredients we need to do." Says, "There's the transwarp plasma coupler is out of sync with the magnetic tetrayon conduit, and I'm detecting multiple flaws in the Tantalus matter stream. I know it's risky, but let's try to override the auxiliary subroutine with a Vaterium cortinide coating and install an argon and subspace pulse relay to help bypass the Tantalus issues. That should do the trick long enough to give us either full impulse power, if not limited warp capability."
Have no doubt in your prowess there.
Lieutenant Hogg, you lead, I follow. And you hear Ensign Johansson just repeat that, and like he's like a puppy right now, ready for whatever orders you're gonna.
Oh man, I'm trying to think of how to time this, because if I use it, I'll have to pump stuff into it. Any estimate on how many scenes we might have left? If we get out of here, how many scenes? Not for the game, but just to get out of us being in danger. Would it be like one scene, two scenes? Or?
Yeah, so things are happening. What's gonna happen is, as you start working on these, things are gonna happen. How many scenes? I've not been doing much scene economy throughout the game because I'm still a little new at it. I'm not good at keeping track of that just yet. But I would say you have time as far as you, from an engineering perspective, are concerned. You are in a mode where you need to get this right, and to hell with everything else that happens, because if you don't get it right, it really doesn't matter what else happens around you. You're going to blow the ship up anyway, right?
Yep.
So it really comes down to that. So I would say you have enough scenes to get things working. So you don't, like, once you make a roll and as you're progressing, I'm going to switch the scenes in and out. Don't want to keep because things are happening in parallel. I want to kind of keep it going that way.
Yeah, I was asking in relevance to my jury rig ability is I can lower the difficulty by 2 down to a minimum of 0. But the effects only last one scene plus 1 scene for each momentum added to it.
I would say wait for that moment. From a mechanics perspective, don't go into it yet. And what I'm going to do is, given that all this is happening and you're getting in reports, as it keeps switching in and out, the momentum, if it piles up, you're going to have access to it. So I'm going to be a little nice that way, where as I switch out, if they generate momentum and I come back to you, you will have that momentum. So
Yeah, but this is the last step before we can get moving, right?
indeed it is. But the work track is 14, magnitude of 3, resistance of 2.
Yeah.
It is going to take you some time.
Yeah. Ideally, I would want to try to. It's to me, it's a little cheesy because honestly, if you're going to try to jury rig, you should lead off with it. But it would be when I think that the workload's about to hit is when I would activate jury rig in my mind.
Yep, you can definitely do that. Mechanics wise.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That being said, I'm going to have to straight ball it off of it. Was it a difficulty 2?
Difficulty is 3 for this. I forgot to add that. Sorry.
For no test? Oh man. Shit, I'm gonna have to spend a momentum getting off the get-go. This is gonna suck. I don't know if I can get 3.
You might have to hit a focus.
He is hitting focus on this, so that's there.
Yeah.
Is there any way I would build a system or anything?
No, not yet, Carter.
Stressful. Oh shit.
So, boss, you start. You hear what's happening around you, and you start the process of powering it up. As you start the process of powering it up, you realize that shit, you forgot a couple of steps in the power up sequence, and you need to restart it again. The good thing is it didn't generate any threat. All right, so scene change happens at this point, and here goes. There is 10 threat in the pool currently. At this point, you guys are on the space map.
Mm-hmm.
Captain, you hear Lieutenant Lyra say, "Captain, the communication has stopped." And just as she says that, you hear Lieutenant Diaz and Lieutenant and Commander Singh both scream on your comm, "Captain, the Jem'Hadar are here." And what's happening outside is 2 Jem'Hadar attack ships have decloaked. One is within the neutral zone, right next to your ship.
Mm-hmm.
The other is a sector, a block away from the Dharma. To do this, I have spent 4 threat out of the 10. It's now 6. In addition, hold on.
Yeah,
Not there
no,
yet.
go ahead. Mm-hmm.
In addition, as the ships decloak, get this right. Carter, you see up on the parapet a shimmer that's very familiar to you. Something is transporting into the engineering room. There's a Jem'Hadar warrior now on the parapet.
I'm gonna touch the comm badge and alert the captain and Lieutenant Sean that we have company down here in the engineering.
And Nabunaga's just like, "That's what you're there for. Keep him off the engineer." And he's like being very short, right?
Captain, you and Drinnan see a Jem'Hadar warrior transport into the hangar. He's on the parapet above you. 2 more threat have been spent to do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nabunag is just keeping his back to the wall there for the moment.
Cool. So I just moved the scene out of engineering. There is Jemadar warrior on the parapet there, and there's a Jemadar warrior on the parapet here within Shuttle Bay. The scene is now going to keep switching back and forth. You guys have now action is happening on your end. What do you guys do?
Oh, that's the question. I'm assuming the pillar's wide enough where I can kind of stand behind it as well, even though I'm not pressed up against it, where Nobunaga's at.
You when we last kind of left the scene, you were just exiting the doorway. If you want, you can step back in and kind of put your wall against the doorway has a wall left, right? Like, or you can choose to run out on the battlefield and get to where Nobunaga is. You have those options.
The more sensible thing is to step back in the doorway if it'll cover me. So step back in there, and the runabout hasn't started shooting yet. This thing is about to. So he's getting in. So I'm gonna take aim and shoot at him.
Go for it.
Well, at least I missed.
Yep.
I can re-roll though I aimed.
Yes, go for it. Reroll.
Jesus. Oh my god.
Man. Oh man, oh man.
Why?
I'm gonna bank it.
No, please spend it.
It's all Cypher's fault. It's all Cypher's fault because he wanted not to die like 5 times before we started.
Captain, what do you do at this point?
Captain's looking at the runabout and then looking at the warrior and sees Chan shoot wide and is a little surprised, but he simply knows that he has to act quickly. And for the moment, the warrior seems to be the more pressing threat, since he's hoping that he shot he did enough damage to the runabout to keep it from doing anything. So he changes his focus and shoots at the Jemadar warrior. Oops.
Okay, so as you unfortunately don't have aim, but as you shoot, the shot goes a little wide, just above the Jem'Hadar's head. He now looks at both of you, and I don't think he had enough time to see who was who just yet. So I'm gonna roll. Okay, so Drinan, he's gonna try and shoot at you. And he misses. Nice. Awesome. We go back to engineering. Okay, so how this is going to happen is first boss goes, then Law. I would say Ensign Popovich is also going to go, and then the Jem'Hadar. Sounds good? Yep. So boss, you see that the Jem'Hadar is just materialized above the parapet. He is crouched and he's kind of like looking around the room, and he has a disruptor. He has a plasma rifle in his hand.
You can't do extended tasks during combat? Is that the case?
No, you can. So just kind of giving you that I'm kind of drawing the scene for you as this is happening.
Quickly shout out. Lock, Johansson! Popovich! Find cover! And protect me! Find cover if you can! Says, send this Jem'Hadar back to the void he came from! And now he's getting aggravated and focused. He's realizing that just trying to gun it ain't gonna work. But if I can open with the test,
Ian, can you kind of like log out and log back in? It's breaking up pretty badly.
am I
Now I can hear you now. Yep.
okay? That's weird because I don't see any.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
hear
we
you
can
now.
hear you.
Okay. One's weird. No. Ensign Hogg will basically call out all three of them. Lock, Johansson, Popovich, find cover and return fire. Send this Jem'Hadar back to the void he came from. Then he'll put on his game face, realizing that just punching the thing isn't right. He'll try to do it with a test this time, since he never really got anything off the ground last time.
Okay. So you're gonna go with the test approach.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Little easier to get, but longer to get too.
Yep.
No momentum.
Nice. Roll 6 challenge dice. Beautiful.
I will like to do triumphant, and that way I have 2 breakthroughs.
Nice. You have 5. Well, no, there's a resistance of 1, so 4.
Oh yeah.
So you take 4. So your work track now becomes 12.
And
Sorry.
actually, since I got 2 effects on the challenge dice, instead of triumphant, I want the other one that it's like a damage increase.
Ah, yes, progression is what you're going for.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, progression. That way, it'll actually bump it into a breakthrough.
Yep. So you have perfect. So it is going to be 5 plus 2, 7 minus 1, 6. So it's going to be a work of now 10 with 1 breakthrough.
Yeah.
At least you're freaking rolling okay.
So now we need a magnet. So you have a work track of 10 and a magnitude of 1 and a resistance of 1. Difficulty is 2. Perfect. That's your turn. Carter, what do you do?
All right. Do I got a clean shot on the warrior?
Yeah, you have. I mean, you can say like you can kind of run up here, take some cover, and still shoot.
What up, where?
I just
Right
moved
there?
the token. Yeah.
All right. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and attack him with my phaser.
Go for it.
Is movement minor, or can he actually aim with it too?
Aim is a special thing for that
Oh,
rifle.
it is.
For the
Yeah.
rifles.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I don't think I have a focus for this.
No, you do not.
You can charge a phaser though, can't you?
So you can just click on your token and hit attack phaser.
Nice.
Oh,
Ooh! Go for it. Go roll that.
Not bad.
Nice.
That's a good roll.
That's an extremely good roll. So you. Okay, so next time use the charge. Don't forget the charge. So you hit for 6. The Jem'Hadar has a resistance of 2. So Carter, you see this. You're the first one to engage the Jem'Hadar. You have engaged them before, and it's kind of poetic that you meet them again, and now you're prepared for them. You're not this new recruit. You know how to attack them where it hurts. You take your time. You shoot. You know that the Jem'Hadar are well armed, well protected. They have some sort of an armor that reduces some of the shots taken. You see some of the phaser that is hit kind of dissipates on the armor. So it's a resistance of 2. 4 still gets through. Nice.
Excellent.
Ensign Popovich is going to shoot with his phaser. Oh, hold on. Shit. 1 minute. I didn't think this was gonna happen. Give me a moment. Hold on, please. There we go. 2d20. Popovich is kind of taken aback by the Jem'Hadar who's standing there. He, his shot goes up wide. Ensign Johansson is going to now aim, and not aim as in try and shoot at the Jem'Hadar. He's going to attack with his phaser.
There you
He
go.
hits.
Oh God.
The 2 soaks up. Ensign Johansson, he's like surprised. He can see his phaser hit, but the hit completely dissipates over the Jem'Hadar's armor. The Jem'Hadar now looks around the room. Nice. Okay. So he's going to take a shot at Ensign Johansson.
no! Not my little buddy.
He's wearing a red shirt for a reason. Oh no. Good.
Yeah. He kind of looks around and he's trying to shoot, but he in turn misses, which is very strange for a Jem'Hadar to miss like that.
Oh man.
Oh wait, I missed this. Sorry.
Yeah,
It-
it's good accurate. He can
It's
reroll.
not accurate. He has a reroll. Misses again. Goodness.
At least
So-
nobody's rolling well.
Except for law. Everybody in engineering is rolling. At this point, Captain, you hear on your comms, Captain, this is Lieutenant Diaz. The Jem'Hadar attack ship is in a holding pattern right across our bow. It's not taking any actions just yet.
Yeah. Nobunaga says, I think it's because we have one of these changelings cornered. Once it gets out, they will shoot. Do not let them open these hangar doors, no matter what.
Will do, Captain. Captain, there might be some good news in all this. The Romulans, they seem to be powering up, but their weapons are not yet trained on us. Just to let you know.
And he just says, "Good. Naga out."
And as soon as that completes, you kind of hear one more comm badge. Captain, this is Commander Singh. We have engaged the second Jemadar ship. And you can hear like a lot of commands going back and forth on the bridge. So I'm kind of going to keep this a little simple out here. So it's going to attack with its phaser on the Jem'Hadar.
Fingering his paycheck.
And it is going to roll location sensors. Nice. Roll damage. Ooh! So the Dharma shoots back 9 hits. The ship scale is 3. 6 gets through. 6 gets through. That is more than 5. That is a breach on the sensor system. The Dharma then oh lord, okay. Task, engines, ship command, ship con. The crew. Hold on. Crew of Dharma. The crew of the Dharma is in turn going to try and do a control plus con to evade if necessary. Nice. Sorry, it's task difficulty of 2, I think. So it meets. Jemadar ship in turn is going to try and fire its disruptor cannon. Which misses completely. And it is in turn going to try a move to try and evade.
So the difficulty of both attacks, well, at least our next attack will be up by 1, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. But they were not able to evade.
Right.
So that difficulty just doesn't go up. Like, it doesn't add up. So it's right now just 1. Perfect. Now, going back to you guys in the hangar, what would you like to do?
I'll let Renan go first.
Let me get my shit rolls out of the way first here. So, all right. We're gonna go. Chon doesn't really know why he's. Is it nerves? Is it just the whole situation? He's not sure, but he hasn't been himself the last few moments here. He hasn't excelled how he expects himself to. He's gonna take a deep breath, take aim at this Jem'Hadar warrior once again, because time is of the essence. And if the captain's right, I mean, assuming that thing about the Changeling being on board, I mean, that's something that the captain put over.
Yeah, I mean, you would have heard me probably just say it.
Yeah. So I'm in agreement with that. So we need to wrap this situation up in the hangar, because this Changeling may be our only way out of this situation now. So aim, fire, Jem'Hadar.
Changeling's like a leprechaun. If you can catch it, you can have him grant you wishes.
or some lucky charms.
He's a founder. You can have all those Jem'Hadar tacked around him.
Nice, finally.
Oh, roll it.
Ooh.
Nice. What do you have here? Charge to edge. Okay. Don't forget to charge those weapons. Nice. Okay, so 5 gets through because of 2 resistance. Hold on. So if 5 gets through, that is a wound. So how does this look, Renan, as you hit the Jem'Hadar and you can now see it's wounded?
So he's probably peeking over, taking some pot shots at the captain and myself, back and forth, being ineffectual. I sort of get a pattern down that he's following as if it's rhythmic, and as I take a couple shots from him, I lean out, I guess right because he's sweeping over to the captain, and I tag him on his shoulder, his shooting arm.
Nice. And he's like, "Ugh." You can clearly see now, and Rinnan, you are getting a sense of what it means to fight a Jem'Hadar. You have clearly wounded him, and from where you can see, the wound is pretty bad. The Jem'Hadar looks unfazed. And that is quite a sight indeed. To take
What
a
is it
full-on...
possessed, Captain?
Yeah, Captain
That's
doesn't
Nobunaga.
even respond. He just charges his phaser and shoots again at the Jem'Hadar, trying to
Nice.
take it down.
Charge is active.
Aim for the back of the neck.
Mm.
Man.
Okay. Yes. Okay, so this is what's going to happen, Captain. When you shoot, you kind of overstep. You don't realize. You kind of eager. You saw Rinnan get a hit, and you kind of like in the heat of the battle. You step out of your cover. The Jem'Hadar will have one extra die while rolling this next attack with that threat you generated.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, nice. So he kind of sees you, Captain, step out of the from underneath the column. He now has his sights clearly on you, and he shoots, but he disregards. He doesn't consider the fact that accurate.
A question before you do shoot: if he has a wound, does he have an extra difficulty, or is he? Because I mean, in Conan, at least, when you're wounded, your difficulty goes up. Test difficulty.
Give me a moment.
I can.
Here goes, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I'll do it in RP and roll 2d. Ooh. Yep, he hits. So the first one is gonna roll damage. Okay, so Captain, you clearly see that Rinnan has shot, and there's a gaping wound on the Jem'Hadar. And he in turn sees you step out of the column, and he shoots anyway. And while you're seeing he's shooting, his arm is kind of limp, but he's still shooting. You realize what it means to fight a Jem'Hadar. Jem'Hadar has no fear. A Jem'Hadar has no pain.
Makes sense.
Immune to fear and pain.
Yeah. Figured.
You, Captain, have a choice now. You're hit for 6 damage,
Mm-hmm.
and there's something called avoiding injury. Give me a moment while I look this up. Okay, so you can choose to avoid injury. Now, avoiding injury means you'll have to spend 2 momentum. Given the fact that you do not have any momentum
I'd
in
have
the
to give you
pool,
threat.
there's another way that you can avoid injury is.
Can I ask one quick question? Did the stuff that the Dharma, because they actually generated 2 momentum. I don't know if you're going to apply that out of combat or if you're actually going to give it to our side or whatever.
NPCs, I don't think they do they?
No. The Dharma would, but. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes. Okay, yep. You do have 2 momentum in the pool. Thanks, Ian. So you can choose to spend that to avoid injury.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's technically not us doing it, but if it's our side, I didn't know if it would actually stick or not.
No, I am. Any action taken by any of Starfleet at this moment is going into the pool.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because I'm gonna take a wound if not.
Yep.
Do I still take my stress damage though?
You do take the stress damage though.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do it then.
Okay.
Can't get hit again.
How does that look, Captain, when you see that? What happens? The Jemadar sees you jump out of the thing. You kind of complicated yourself. He shot you. How do you avoid the
So
injury?
basically, Nobunaga steps out, shoots, misses. The warrior returns fire, and Nobunaga at the last minute kind of ducks behind the beam, but he leaves his left shoulder exposed and kind of shoots him in the back. And he cries out in pain, "Ah!" He kind of then slumps against the beam as he's kind of just like grinning or grimacing in pain.
Oh. And you can see there's a smile on the Jemadar's face at this moment. Nightingale, scene's back on you.
I'll go ahead and get mine out of the way.
Yep.
And then they can start shooting. Boss Hog's frantically here in the exchange of phaser fire. He just does his best, basically cursing the machinery as it's running through its test procedures. Like basically watching the progress bar. He's like, pressing. You know how it is when you're playing video games. You're like pressing that damn attack button like 20 million times before the next cycle hits.
Mm-hmm.
It actually registers. He's like waiting for it, anticipating it. He just tries to get it going through the motion as best as possible. And there's no momentum in the pool.
No.
Gods be nice.
Ooh.
Very nice. Thank God.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Thank God you're rolling good tonight.
So that's 3 in the pool. I'm just keeping the pool, but we can use it, so I don't forget it. Roll them dice.
You're gonna re-roll that.
I will spend 1 to re-roll 4 dice.
Okay.
Is that a repeatable?
No, it's not.
I don't think it is.
I think you can spend to add.
Okay. I will use progression on those effects to jack it up to a 6 workload, reduced down to a 5.
Yep.
Work.
Nice. So now your work is now at 5. You have crossed one more magnitude. You have just one more magnitude remaining. How does this look?
Basically, he's nervous as hell with his butt tuckered. But he's got to stay focused. It's one of those things where he's going to continue trying to bring systems online until he feels the phaser blast through his spinal cord. It's really frantic. Luckily the Tellarites are a small race, so he's trying to use the console and crawl up in there as best he can for cover. But it's one of those situations, it's do or die. He's solely focused on getting the damn engines online.
Nice. Carter, you're up.
Alright, so how do I use this charge shot?
So you just say charge, which means it's like a minor action to charge. You can't move, and then you shoot. And in case you roll effects on the challenge die, you can choose what effect you want to roll.
Okay. So I can charge it now and shoot it?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, that's what I'll do. I'm gonna take aim and let another round go off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, charge is nice for piercing. You can reduce their... Because charge is what, piercing 2?
Oh,
So you can
God.
Oh.
Ensign Popovich
Come on,
tries to
no
shoot.
names. There you go.
Ooh.
The crewmen are outdoing us.
Yeah.
That
I would
Russian
say,
was
I didn't say charge, but Ensign Popovich would have definitely charged.
Yeah.
So that's 2 more piercing. So that's 6 minus 2. She still does 4 damage. Nice. The Jemadar is being attacked from all sides. Ensign Johansson, he looks up, kind of gets the bug. He wants to shoot.
Oi, oi, oi.
Oi, oi, oi.
Watch this too.
two techies
Oh.
and a I was about to say, 2 techies and a pilot just going.
The Jemadar, like, clearly hit. He turns his. Oh, no. Here we go. 1d4. Yep. Good. So
Quantity
turns
over
to-
quality.
Turns to Ensign Popovich.
Oh, see you later, brave soldier.
Uh,
Uh-oh.
Oh, yep.
My hips.
6. Ensign Popovich is gravely injured as she takes 5 damage.
Staggering back on the cons.
She's wounded. So there's that. Back to space. The Nightingale is still holding action. The Diedrich's class warbird is Captain. You hear Lieutenant Diaz. Captain, we have confirmed the warbird is completely operational at this point. Boss, you kind of feel a little dejection, the fact that they powered up before you did. However, they're holding pattern, Captain. They're just observing what's happening.
just give Hog a little more time. And he's unaware of the fighting and engineering, obviously.
No, he's unaware completely.
Yeah, that's.
The Dharma, in turn, tries to attack.
God damn! Sing making that money!
Engines.
Now realize we are at +1 difficulty because we did maneuver.
I think you'd still get it.
I think
You still get it.
we still get it on this, but we didn't
Yep.
generate any momentum.
Oh my god.
Ooh, 5 on the. Oh, wait. I've not been doing this shit. Hold on. Medium range, versatile 2. What does versatile 2 mean? Can somebody look up? Something
That's a good
does-
question.
because I know the phases are.
It has to do with momentum, I think.
Yes, it does. Versatile 2.
Yeah, you gain X point of momentum if successful.
Yes, so 2 momentum go back in the pool. Nice. So you now have. You already had 2. You now have 4. And the Jemadar ship takes a breach on its engines. Ooh, yeah. For both those phases, the power should have been 1. Power is now at 13.
Does versatile 2 mean that 2 is a cap, or is it 2 for each effect generated?
Give me a moment. No, attack gains X points of bonus momentum if successful.
This is a flat 2.
Flat 2.
Yeah, so when you spend the effect dice, they're all technically spent on the same thing. You can't like split them or anything.
What do you mean?
Like if you had versatile and high yield, you could like, okay, I want to send this effect die on versatile and then this effect die on high yield.
No, I believe versatile just applies. If any effect is rolled, you automatically get 2 points. It's not even effect. It's just the quality of the weapon. You just get 2. If you hit, you get 2.
Oh, okay.
Flat. Yeah. Okay, so Jem'Hadar, given the fact that it has been hit, it knows no fear, it knows no pain. It's going to attack in turn, but this time it's going to go with its phased Polaron beam.
Difficulty 3.
Difficulty 3, which it misses completely. And it's going to have issues soon. It doesn't do anything at that point. Action goes back to the shuttle bay, boys.
Please kill this man.
Okay. Oh, I'm going to attempt to kill this man.
Renan, before you do that, give me a security plus insight.
I've been doing okay on these. Knock on wood. Task difficulty?
Task difficulty 1.
Focus.
Focus. No focus for this.
Okay.
Let's see how we do. Ooh! Okay, hold on. Before you take any action, I want to send this to you, and then you decide what you want to do.
I find it ironically funny that they can transport a Jem'Hadar on our ship, but they can't transport their founder off of it.
Cool. So then you have some new information. Choices are yours.
I'm gonna bank that information, but so here's what I'm going to do, just so I can play out the whole turn. I don't believe I've used value at this point for determination, have I?
No.
Okay. So to protect those I hold dear seems pretty good in this situation, since I just saw my captain get shot. And I believe you can use that to do a second action, right?
I would. I just want to. So this is something I do as a GM time to time. I consider these as free actions. So when I ask you to roll something, even though you may not do, it's kind of like to facilitate something that you would have noticed as a character in a game about your environment.
Oh yeah, no, it's not for that. I figured that.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to take advantage of that and also protect my captain, because that is my job. So Chon is actually going to expose himself. I'm gonna willingly step out from cover. I'm assuming that's free, since I'm just taking a one side step into a doorway.
Yeah.
I am going to charge my phaser and attempt to shoot the Jem'Hadar first.
Okay.
We have a bunch of momentum, right?
Yep, you do. You have 5 momentum.
Oh my god, I'm spending one. Absolutely.
Okay. Nice. Roll damage.
Charged.
Ooh. What are you going for with
9.
this charge?
Oh my god, what are my options? Intense, piercing. What are they?
Give me a moment.
Well, intense would give him 2 wounds. Additional.
Yeah, assuming
because
I'd get through his, because I have 7, I'd get through his 2 resist, so yeah.
Piercing 2 is a nice one.
Yeah, but he only has 2, and I'm gonna wound him anyway.
Yeah. If you're gonna wound him anyway, I would do intense. That would give him 3 wounds.
Yep.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yep. So you go with the intense. You go with the 7. the 5 get through. How does this look as you take out the Jemadar, Chan?
So I see my captain gets, Captain, no! And step out and just sort of slowly, brazenly walking out from the door, trying to draw the fire if nothing else. And he turns to shoot at me, but I'm just blast him. And this one is a rare lethal shot from a Starfleet officer. Usually when trying to disarm people, but this is war. I'm going for the. I'm not center mass. I'm going straight for the head, taking the risk.
Nice.
And just nails him right in the forehead. And then for my next act, so that whole part that is on the runabout, right?
It is just about the runabout. See the part where I marked it red?
Yeah.
Yep, that's the one.
Oh, okay. Well, then in that case, I'm gonna. I was thinking about that. I thought the hole was on the runabout, but never mind. I'll still do the determination. What I want to do is, I want to follow up on what we were initially doing, where the captain was shooting at that front part of the runabout again, because I don't need this thing to boot up at all. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot that. And I believe that is the task difficulty higher for this, or is it the same? I'm doing another action. I don't know if it was determinations are different or not. But
I would say that, for now, keep it rolling. Task difficulty is the same.
Same? Okay, so it's task difficulty 2?
Yep.
I'll use a momentum again. And I will aim.
Nice.
I kind of want to reroll that one, but I could comp it. It's a 5% chance. I gotta do it.
Yep.
I gotta do it. Okay, it's just a miss, I think. Yeah, it's fine.
Nice. So Okay. So Rinan, as you step out and you take that shot at the Jemadar, and then you aim at the runabout, you shoot at the same nacelle that the captain hit, and you destroy the nacelle. Enough that it is not going to be able to be flying in space anytime soon. The action goes back to engineering.
I didn't go, but
sorry. Go ahead.
Well, once he sees the nacelle get blown away, actually Nobunaga's not like in a hurry to get on that get to that ship anymore. So he sees the Jem'Hadar shot, and he kind of just levels to John, get to cover, and he probably just leans against the beam for a moment and taps on his comm to Diaz and situation report, and we can just go to the next scene.
Okay. Engineering. Boss.
Let them do their shooting first.
Okay. Go ahead, Carter.
Alright, I'll be taking another charge shot here. Hoping for better results from my firing, even though it's not my forte.
You could use a momentum.
It
There you
sure
go.
is for your forte.
Roll that damage. Ooh, with the charge, 5. Piercing, which would be 2. So 5 go through. How does this look, Carter, as you kill the Jemadar?
Sitting at the bottom of the steps by the rail, realizing there's not much cover, you just kind of crouch down and, hope he doesn't make a huge target. and then hearing that shots go off and see where they went towards Popovich, he takes the opportunity to let some more, let some phaser loose on him.
Nice. Boss. That's what remains. Work track of 5, magnitude 1, resistance 1, difficulty 2. There is 3 momentum in the pool.
I am going to activate Jury Rig and spend 1 momentum on my roll.
Okay.
That will be a difficulty 0, rolling 3 dice.
Nice.
Remember, it's difficulty 0.
Yep.
So
So
there's 2 momentum in the pool extra.
So now it's 4. Oof.
Nice.
That will break through.
That will break through.
I
So
will then spend all 4 momentum to keep the jury rig up.
okay. Why though? Is this
I
something
think we're
missed?
done.
Yeah, you're done. You got a breakthrough. The ship is fully powered up at this point. How does it look?
Damn, I thought I wrote a little speech for it, but I did. As the sounds of phaser fire continues, Hog's oblivious to the fact that they managed to defeat their opponent. All he knows is that he's watched the progress bar go from red, yellow, green, red, yellow, green, red, yellow, green enough that he's totally oblivious to the fact that it's on the final set go, and then you hear the computer's voice going, power system reactivated, warp core engine online. And he immediately just slaps the hell out of his comm badge. And I don't know if you can broadcast to 2 people. Can you broadcast like to the Dharma and the Nightingale at the same time, or is it just one transmission?
I would say you can broadcast. You're pretty much on Starfleet frequency, so you can do that.
Okay.
Sci-fi anyway, almost anything is possible.
Well, if anything, it's a short series. I'll try to keep the message short so it's not going to broadcast to 2 people too. All you'll hear is a very erratic, and all he's doing is beeping and blurting in. He's not really IDing himself or anything. He's sitting there going, warp core power has been reestablished. He's sitting there going, I highly suggest we get the heck out of here.
And almost before Hog is done, Nobunaga's, go to warp now! Go to warp now!
While this is going on, Lox is gonna run her aid to Popovich.
Okay. At that point, Nobunaga, you order to warp. Do you tell warp to? Does it mean you're telling warp to even this guy? What's his name?
I'm telling it to both ships.
Both ships. Okay,
Mhm.
sounds good. So you guys. Okay. I believe. Let me move you guys up here. Not everybody's here. Okay. So, who wants to roll for the Nightingale?
What are we rolling?
You're rolling for warp in combat. So it'll be the warp rules in combat.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd have to be, what is that? Starship Operation.
Pilot?
Let Carter do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah. So you're still in combat, so you can warp 2 or more zones and spend enough power to do more zones if you would like to. This is not the long journey warps. So
Gotcha. Yeah.
so if you want to warp out of Warbird territory, out of Romulan territory, you can do that.
Yeah. Do that.
So what is that? Where is that? Come on. Warp. Oh, no roll. You just spend power to do it.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Okay, so 9. Your shields. So what it looks like is out in space, and everybody inside. You kind of feel a shudder on the on the ship, and suddenly like the kind of lights kind of brighten up for a bit, and then they kind of stabilize as the ship comes up to power. The shields regenerate, and when you say go to warp, basically warp gets engaged on both ships. As how much power are you planning to use? How many squares are you planning to jump, and where are you planning to jump?
Well, I think that's kind of up to Diaz because I wasn't being specific, but
Okay.
out of
So
character.
Diaz is going to try and jump, I would say at least 2 to get out of the Romulan zone.
I would like to. Well,
Okay. And actually, I would say the Dharma doesn't warp.
yeah.
Commander Singh, in turn, sees the advantage. Rather than warping, he chooses to attack.
Yeah, I was. That was just yelling.
Attack with the phaser. Roll the phase structure. Roll damage. Ooh!
I think he missed, Cypher.
Yeah.
No?
Successful.
1 success.
You didn't roll for evade last time.
Yeah, I
That's
didn't roll
right.
for evade. Yes, he didn't roll for evade.
Oh,
So that's
shit.
a 9. 9 on the structure. 6 get through. Wait, actually, there's not enough shield at this point, because 5 and 4, 2 remain. 6 get through. That's 0. So the structure takes damage, and I would say at this point this ship is pretty severely damaged. What do you guys like to do?
Nobunaga basically taps on Diaz's comm and says, "Get a security team down here to the hangar to secure this runabout. I'm coming up."
Immediately, Captain.
And I suppose that I would probably wait, however, until that security detail got there.
Okay.
And my weapon's trained on the runabout doors, making sure. And if anything comes out, rolls out, doesn't matter. It is gonna take. I'm on stun, but it's gonna eat the rifle shot.
Actually, I think at this point, Nobunaga turns to Chan and says, "Don't let anything out of there." And he says to Diaz, "Transport me to the bridge."
Immediately, Captain. And you get transported to the bridge, and security detail is on their way to
I would have them. Well, hopefully she's maybe transporting them down, so we can transport Sean up
Yep.
here too.
Yep. So you get transported up here. Security detail gets transported down there. Do you want to be? Do you want Sean to be transported up here as well?
What does Sean want to do? I would be okay with leaving that up to him.
It's a tough call because I would like to. We might be. I don't know if this ship's not combat capable, really, is it? I mean, we've just tried to get out of here.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it has taken some breaches. The main thing is power. Power is online. Weapons are online. Shields are online, but the breaches remain. If you look at the breaches on the ship, where is that? Hold on. She has two. I would say I would remove one for the work done. She has one breach on the engine, one breach on the structure still. And she's a scale of 3. But times are desperate.
Yeah, I really don't. I don't know that I would probably want to oversee everything down here because I really don't want any mistakes to be made with these changelings.
Okay. So, Captain, you are on the on the bridge of the Nightingale. Lieutenant Diaz looks at you as you materialize on the spot. While this is happening, kind of back and forth in space, the other Jemadar ship warps directly into your zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say here. That's its turn.
So we can go. It's like our turn to do whatever we want.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
So as Nobunaga gets into, appears, he looks at Diaz. I'm taking command, and he kind of just throws himself into the chair, rushed, and looks to So I think what I'll do.
You see on your bridge, there's barely anyone who has the experience of what you require at this moment.
Yeah. Well, the first thing he said is, Lieutenant Diaz, prepare to fire. She's a security officer. So then I'm gonna do.
I believe you have access to the token. Oh shit! What did I do? Place play. Okay, there you go. Sorry. So you can click on the Nightingale.
Mm-hmm.
And
what does create advantage do again?
Create advantage is you're doing something. I've generally looked at as doing something RP wise, using some mechanics. So you still have to roll and get a task done. For example, say you are trying to attack this Jemadar ship and you want create an advantage for somebody else to attack in a different way, or you are, say, holding a door open, allowing somebody else to run through or attack through it, or something like that.
Okay. Can we repair breaches? Is that something that can be done?
No.
Okay.
Not
all right.
really. Not,
Yeah, I was just wondering if damage report had anything to do with that. So basically, what he does, he Lieutenant Diaz, come about, Mark 5. Fire your phasers. And I'm just going to do direct leadership now.
Okay. And you can go ahead and click on the attack phasers.
I got to do my where is that? Just I get assist is what I do.
Okay.
So what do I roll for an assist? What would I roll? Oh, I see. Command.
Just roll a command, yeah, 1d20.
See, I assist the task by using command. Okay. Sorry.
No problem.
Where are we? Okay. I don't have access to my token. Doesn't
Where?
look like. In
You're
space.
in space, right?
Yeah. Oh no. Okay, I got it. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Command. What would it be?
Command and presence, I would say.
Yeah, that would be
Should
good by
enable
me.
ship.
I believe I would have focus on that.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Go ahead and click on the ship and attack with the phaser. So you already have one success.
Okay.
Nice. Roll location and roll damage.
Ooh. See, you didn't need me up there.
So two more go into the pool.
And we have a bunch of momentum, so I might use some.
Okay. Go for 1 minute. Let me give
Yeah,
you some
you're good.
options.
You're good. I got luck too. What's our weapon quality here? Versatile 2. How much momentum do we have in the pool?
You have right now 4, and you generated 1 through your roll, so 5 plus the 2 that you have. So you have 6 in the pool at this point.
And what damage are we looking at currently? How much damage?
So you're looking at 8 damage, 8 minus 3 for the scale. So 5 will get through. That will affect the structure based on what you rolled. Now you can do a bunch of things. You can spend 2 to create a swift task and attack again.
Yep, but that adds difficulty, right? So I'm actually gonna do probably a devastating attack.
Okay.
So roll an addition to the system. That system such an additional dealing half the primary attack damage. So
it'll be 3.
So actually, first thing I'm gonna do,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to. So we're at 6 right now. So I'm gonna do bonus damage, two momentum for bonus damage to get to
Okay.
3. Well, do round up or down?
No, round up. So you did an attack of 8,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Mhm.
of the initial attack, 3 got soaked up, 5 went through. Okay. Then now you're going to do a devastating attack, which is half of 8, so it's 4.
Yeah, but
Of
I don't.
those 4.
Yeah, I don't want to do that though. I want to bump it where I get 2. You see what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to do bonus damage, so that way when I do the devastating attack, which it's rounded up, so what I'm going to do is bump it to 9.
Okay.
Total. So so that is 9 after. So I'm going to spend 3 momentum on bonus damage.
Okay.
Okay. So we would be at 11 minus 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? No.
11 minus 3, yes. So
No. So I need 4. So I need 4 bonus damage. So
Okay.
that's 12 minus 3 to 9. Devastating attack for the remainder. So what would that get us? I believe is 5 damage for 2 systems. So that'd be
Perfect.
2 breaches.
2 breaches.
Make
Okay.
sense?
So it makes sense. So click the roller location again. Weapons, nice. So they take a breach on the structure. They take a breach on the weapons. Nice. And you spent a total of
6 momentum, I believe.
6 momentum.
Yeah, I used it all.
Use it all. Nice. Perfect. The Dharma is at a distance. Seeing that the Jemadar ship in front of it is disabled, it in turn is going to try to do a torpedo attack on the Jemadar ship right next to you, which is a miss. The Jemadar ship in turn, 1 minute, I want to see what the breach. Where are the breaches?
So that was just mine, and I don't know how we're doing this at a high level, but
I'm kind of keeping it fluid
yeah.
right now.
Yep,
Because,
understood.
so,
Yep, just making sure.
NPC ship damage. Wait, where is the starship damage? Yeah, perfect. Engines, sensors, structure, weapons. Perfect. So you basically have knocked out its weapon systems with that attack. Because under starship damage effects, when you take impacted under weapons, the ship cannot make any attacks nor can attempt any other task which would involve assisted by the ships. So it's going to spend its time to do a restore minus action during this process.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do, Captain?
So they can't shoot, right?
Mm-hmm. So
Well,
they're going to spend this time trying to fix it.
Yeah, first thing is get hopefully people to where they need to be. Like Locke actually transported up here to fly this thing, help me fly it.
Mm-hmm.
But he basically seen that this thing can't fight back. He's just laying waste into it, just full barrage. And I'm gonna do 1 second. I'm gonna spend a point of determination to what is it? Where is it? To add 3 to the momentum pool. So spirit of discovery.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use veteran. Whenever I spend a point of determination, I roll 1 die, and if I get an effect, I get it back.
Okay, go for it.
So here we go.
Oh.
Nope. Okay, that's fine.
Right.
So we have 3 momentum now. And then, so those are not technically actions. So the one thing I will do now is I will do the I'm sorry. Check all this. Rally, which is to basically presence and command to generate more momentum.
Okay.
It makes sense because the determination wasn't an action, right? Technically.
Correct. Determination was not an action.
Yeah. Okay. So command presence. I'm guessing I do have focus on that.
You do.
It's technically a 0, right? So difficulty of 0. Yeah.
So 6. You're back on full strength at this point. Carter, you are now at the helm. Rinan, you're still down at the hangar bay. Lieutenant Diaz is technically still in command of the weapon station. What are your orders, Captain?
Fire!
Go ahead and click on the Nightingale and hit the attack phaser.
I'm gonna I wanted to spend some momentum there,
but roll location. Structure. What does this look like, Captain? As you destroy the ship.
So Lox just kind of brings the Nightingale kind of above the Jem'Hadar as it might be turning away and to try to evade us because its weapon systems are down. And just from the back to the front, the laser just starts riddling it, just splits the thing in 2, and it just cracks open like a walnut. And from inside, you just see systems and explosions riddling bodies of the Jem'Hadar come flying out into space as it just begins to float into 2 different pieces.
Nice. Seeing Commander Singh seeing your attack on the Jem'Hadar ship and realizing something that you have also realized, the threat that the Jem'Hadar poses, he opens fire on the disabled Jem'Hadar ship and it too goes up in flames. So you guys have been able to successfully return the Nightingale out of the uh, uh, neutral zone. Captain, I want you to roll me an insight plus command.
Can I use momentum?
Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
I use 2.
Okay.
Well, 3 if you're gonna do 2.
Yeah, but yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Focus or no?
Hold on. Let me check something. I would say you have a focus of diplomacy.
Test difficulty.
Task difficulty is 1. Oof. I would say it negates with the success
That's
you've
fine.
had.
Yeah.
You realize that in all this, the Romulans have retreated. They neither pursue or stress the point of you having crossed the neutral zone. You make a mental note of the fact that the Romulans, the moment the Jem'Hadar arrived on the scene, took a step back. As for the disabled runabout in the hangar, Nightingale security is currently surrounding it. The doors have not yet opened. Nothing is happening on that front. Commander Singh comes over the comms and congratulates you on a success and victory well deserved.
Commander Singh, well done.
A moment, because you are now on a different ship. Give me a moment, please. So, Captain, you get an incoming hail, and on the screen you see Admiral Ross and Admiral Talara. Captain, I seem to have found our missing admiral.
He walks up and looks up and he's... Admirals, I'm glad you are both well.
And Admiral Talara, you can clearly see, is actually shaken up. You can see there are a few cuts and bruises on her face. Captain, it is glad to see you again. Admiral Ross has filled me in. I'm unfortunate about the circumstances that have caused this, and my condolences to you for the loss of your friend.
Naga.
What is the status?
He frowns and nods, and his left arm is kind of drooping a little bit where he was shot, and says, "We've successfully repelled 2 Jem'Hadar ships and a boarding party. We've moved the Nightingale into Federation territory, and we have what I believe is a Changeling locked up in a runabout on board the Nightingale. Request permission to rendezvous with, well, more ships so we can offload this prisoner."
Indeed, Captain. Make your way to Starbase 257, I believe. Make your way to Starbase 257 with the Dharma, giving you protective cover. There has been a lot of Jem'Hadar activity observed in your area. We'll send a few more ships to provide escort. Excellent work, Captain. I believe, from your report, I understand that the Romulans did not press the matter the moment the Jem'Hadar arrived.
They did not.
Yes, it's come to our attention that the Romulans and the Jem'Hadar have some understanding. Another good news: the war with the Klingons has come to an end. We have found out that the Klingons were also infiltrated by the founders, the Changelings and the Dominion. The Klingon High Council is now in full retreat and working with us to repair diplomacy and ties with the Starfleet and Federation.
Nobunaga nods. Very good to hear. I want to say that every man and woman on both these ships deserve accommodations and all all those that died posthumously. And he frowns and says, "There's been many deaths here on the Nightingale, including my friend and longtime companion, Captain Depardieu. But we will strive to discover, to bring the Federation's presence to all of space, and help those that need it. And I will be here." And he kind of steps back and sighs. And
Captain, with you on our side, I believe the days of the Dominion threat over Starfleet and Federation will be numbered. We will
Right.
make our way to Starbase 257 for a complete debrief. Pass our congratulations to our crew. A job well done.
I will, Admirals.
And with that, they wink out.
And Nobunaga goes and sits back in the chair, not his chair, and looks over at Lieutenant Diaz and says, "Lieutenant, this chair is yours for the time being. I'll return to the Dharma, and we will escort you."
Okay. So the scene changes, and let me check something. Final closing. Perfect. Eventually, all of you make your way back to the Dharma and reconvene in the briefing room. Captain, you're at the head of the table. Beside you, there's John, Hogg, Carter, and Lyra. Commander Singh is at the helm, keeping an eye out for any additional Dominion and Jem'Hadar activity.
Nobunaga just looks to Lieutenant Hogg and says, "Lieutenant, I have never met an engineer quite like you. I must say that was quite improbable, but you did it all the while. I gave you an impossible task, and you made it happen."
Hog will kind of nervously bite his furry lip. Because technically the jury rig wears off.
Oh no!
Power's out.
Yeah.
But I mean, technically the jury rig wears off, but the battle has come to an end. The Dharma is free. The Dharma has resources. The Dharma can build some parts and keep the thing going. So not really.
There, I feel better. But regardless, Boss Hog he bites his furry lip, little disgruntled, nervous look upon his face, and it's almost as if he doesn't really want to receive praise at the whole way it all went down. He's just kind of ultimately just shakes his head. He doesn't. I did what I must, Captain. I just merely did what I must.
No, it's doesn't. If it wasn't for Ensign Law here, it might have changed. I didn't know you could shoot as well as fly.
I surprise myself sometimes. But, I guess I perform well under some pressure, huh?
He smiles, and a brash pilot can be no other kind. And then he looks to Lyra and says, and of course, Ensign Lyra, good work out there. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't know about Captain Deepardew's encryption. And after that bit, he finally turns to Chon and says, Lieutenant, do you remember the conversation we had on Earth?
There were a few conversations, Captain. Perhaps draw a memory, sir.
And he kind of chuckles. About you going into command.
Well, with the war going on, Captain, I must say I haven't thought much about it.
You probably should begin to think about it. And he kind of pauses for a moment and says, Commander Singh showed himself worthy of what I've known for a while now. He's ready for a command of his own. That means I'll need a new XO.
And Chon looks, surprised. His eyes go wide. Obviously I'm not presuming anything, Captain, but were such an opportunity to come up, I would be honored. Whenever that time would be.
Well, after this, I've probably earned some credit with the High Command. We'll see. We'll see. And then he pauses for a minute. And we'll just... maybe it'll depend on how good your karaoke is and 10 forward.
After today, I imagine I'm going to have a lot of stress to relieve. So it may be bad, or it may be exquisitely good. It sort of depends on what I'll be drinking tonight.
He chuckles and says, Sake for all, and perhaps some worms that Hogg can conjure up for us to eat.
And with that, as the scene comes to an end, the familiar four are in a familiar place. Give me a moment. And a familiar song is being played as the screen. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Where is that? And the four are sitting and enjoying a drink. Then Sean singing to the lyrics of one of his favorite songs. Boss exchanging pleasantries and talking about the various worms he knows. Law laughing. And Captain Nobunaga deep in thought, thinking about the war that's about to come. And the stuff that these brave men have yet to face. And with that, the screen fades to black. With that, we end Arc 1 of Star Trek, Chronicles of the USS Dharma.
Oh, buddy.
Before you guys turn off the recording, I have a small request. I'm sending you a link. If you could play that on your screen so that it would be part of the video. This is how Arc 2 is going to start.
Oh, you sneaky devil.
R2 is going to basically start with
You want me to play it
the
now?
massive. Huh?
You want me to play it now?
Yeah, you can play it. R2 is basically going to start with the Starfleet gathering all its forces and its allies, including Klingons, for an assault on the Dominion forces who have joined up with the Cardassians. When R2 starts, the Cardassians have taken over DS9, or as they call it, Terra Nor. A lot of bad things have happened. Beta Z has been invaded, millions of lives lost, and then Chon himself has suffered great loss at that point. And the arc is going to start with this battle, and moving forward, the Dominion War and Starfleet's response to it. With that, you can stop it.
That's a lot of stuff to fly through.
I hope you guys enjoyed this session.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes the rules can be pretty heavy on this, and I choose to ignore it when I want to keep